Hi everybody, Steve Hallstrom, Scott Hennen here. Our final video as we wrap up the day at the North Dakota GOP Convention. And there were a little bit of fireworks today. Today, fairly quiet. Today things got a little bit interesting in the old hall today, Scott.
They did, and I think Rick Becker leaves this convention in a little bit of a worse off position than he was coming in, because of course there's a a text floating around where Rick had instructed his supporters to do the spoiled ballot routine, and it really turned into a bit of a mess. Obviously, he was trying to deprive Julie Fedorchuk of the nomination, and so in the end, he managed to do that, but it was because of Julie's grace. So I thought two things were good. I thought it was smart of Rick to stop that after one ballot, and he did, to his credit. He said, okay, we tried it, we made our point, let's stop. Smart move on his point. And then Julie, when the first ballot goes her way, second ballot I guess it was, doesn't go her way by what, like 4 votes. She literally,
it was a thin margin.
Yeah, I mean, it literally was, I think she had 605 and she needed 608 or something. So it really was very, very tight. And then she withdraws, despite being the leader after that vote. And then Alex Blaz is then declared by Sandy Sanford, based on the rules, being the only candidate, as the endorsed candidate. So you would need to have a political science degree and know how to play chess big time in the political world to figure it all out. But ultimately, this is decided in June, right? This will all this really means is you're going to have a robust debate, and you're going to have a very busy election with 3 candidates vying for the win in the primary in June.
Now, Rick Becker said that his camp, if you will, was really only trying to allow people to have a voice that felt disenfranchised by the voting process. You say that this was a strike against Julie Fedorchuk. Why do you believe that and not the other line of thinking?
Well, I mean, I think, I don't know, the way I view this right now, the votes that would go to Alex Blaz, who, by the way, impressed the daylights out of everybody here.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, and just a graceful guy, is not doing the usual rough and tumble politics, really a classy man. So I think he surprised a lot of people, but if I'm thinking about June and who ultimately gets the votes, I think that Becker and Blaz split the vote of sort of throw the bums out, right? I'm tired of the establishment and everything else. So I actually think what happened here ends up helping Julie. She's well enough known that the endorsement won't necessarily mean that much.
Right.
So I think with this, who knows, right? I mean, I couldn't tell you who I think is going to win in the governor's race right
It's
now.
going to be a heck of a 3-way race in this one.
In the House race, for sure.
In the House race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that Kelly Armstrong didn't have opposition here, nor did Senator Kevin Cramer, but there wasn't the rancor towards them that there was for Julie Fedorchuk. Basically, she took the full force blunt of all this angst from these factions in the Republican Party. You know what? I think Ed Schaefer says it best. Mike Huckabee said the same thing. You know what? Love them all. Yeah. You've got to love them all, and just say that the process plays out, and we are a victim of our own success in the Republican Party, because the Democrats can meet in a phone booth, right? I mean, they're persona non grata, and so we have a wide swath of ideological spectrum in the Republican Party, and we saw that here.
Okay, so we've got a very good battle going to the primary for governor. Got a very good battle going to the primary for the House race as well, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the state superintendent of education race as well, after Kirsten Basler was defeated by Jim Bartlett. So that's the other one that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, although again, Kirsten Baylor's been on that ballot so many times. She goes in with enormous voter ID and people knowing her name. So I'd still give her the edge in that one. But Jim Bartlett was an impressive candidate. Conservative teacher, I thought that was an oxymoron. Yeah. It was beautiful to find a guy that's that bold. Last thing they're voting on right now is the resolutions. There were 15 resolutions voted on by what's called the Resolutions Committee, and it's made up of 8 people. So 8 people cooked up these 15 resolutions, which, by the way, mean nothing if they pass, because the party already speaks with the platform. But that's happening right now, and we'll post the results on that a little later.
That sounds good. All right, well, that'll do it for 2 great days, 2 action-packed days here, and we thank you for being with us on our various social platforms. Make sure you're catching us on the radio programs, as we'll be back at it on Monday morning. What's on Your Mind Show, 8:30 to 11, the Steve Hallstrom Show, 4 to 6 on the flag. So with that, we say good afternoon, and we bid you farewell from North Dakota State University. We'll see you back here next time.